Welcome to this video about discussions. So let's go down here into maybe the first discussion, history and science, and what you'll see is as you scroll through the history and science information that you have to know, and you get to the bottom area where it says this is the graded section, you have the quiz and you have the discussion. So the quiz, first of all, let me go back to quizzes because I didn't tell you this in any of the others. There's a link to print the quiz. You click on that. You click on to bring up the quiz, and you have a PDF. Here's the quiz. This is the first quiz. This is the entire, it's 11 pages long. You can go out, print this out, find the answers, write the answers down. When you're finished with the answers and you've got them all in, then you come down below into the actual area where the homework is, and you click on the online quiz. When it opens up, all you have to do is transfer from the printed version into this one, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Take 2 minutes to fill it all in, and then click on submit, and it will tell you what you got wrong or what you got right. And then take your printed version, mark the ones you got wrong, and try to find the right answer, and then go back and take it again till you get 100%. You just keep on doing that over and over again. And then even after you get 100%, you should probably take this quiz without those notes. But just remember that that becomes a note. And my tests are open book, open notes. So you have a slight idea of what it is that you want, that I want on the test, because you've got the notes there and you can remember and organize yourself so that this, oh, that came from the history and science section. This is the history and science quiz. It's got to be somewhere in here. But you don't have enough time to look them all up. You have to know them, so you have to take them over and over and over again so that when you have the 31 minutes and you start the test, you can actually finish it, because if you looked every single one of those answers up, which you could, you don't have enough time. You have to know the answers for most of them, run through the test, answer all the ones you can answer, and skip the ones you can't, go back, and then look up the ones you could not answer. That's the way to take my tests, right, and quizzes. So then discussions. So let me go back to discussions now. So this is the history and psychology discussion. That's what it says, but really when you click in it, what you get is the description of it. You're not really in the discussion yet. This is the description of that discussion, and it says which of these new current approaches makes the most sense to you, that and why. That's your actual, that is what you're going to be answering in the discussion. But then all of this here underneath it is how you do the discussion. Every single one of my discussions is the same except for the last one, which is 10 points. But what you're going to be doing during these discussions, during the 7 other discussions, is learning how to use quotes, citations, and references, so that when you get, you can lose a point or 2 here or there in these, but you'll learn how to do it so you don't lose 7 or 8 points in the 10-point discussion. So use the sources I give you, which is PowerPoints, online lectures, OpenStax textbooks, and your own textbook, the Myers textbook, the online transcribed lectures, my PowerPoints, and the free general text from Spielman, the OpenStax. If you think this psychology will be helpful, what sentence makes you think it will? You know, I don't like people. And it says in the text, oh, psychology is all about people. Well, I probably won't like this class then. So you've got a sentence that says, here's the sentence, that psychology is all about people. I don't like people. Therefore, if that's what this sentence says, and quote, this is what the book says, quote, psychology is all about people, unquote, citation, then I probably won't like it. Easy, right? If you think psychology will not be helpful, what sentence makes you think it won't be helpful? The supporting sentence you pick from the sources must be in quotes, because it is a sentence that you are picking from somebody else's work. That is a credible place to find support. And whenever you use someone else's words, you have to put them in quotation marks. Use a supporting sentence from one of the sources with quotation marks on both sides of the sentence, and then immediately follow the sentence with an in-text citation. And a proper in-text citation is like this: author, date of publication, and page number, or paragraph number if just paragraphs. For our textbook, the sentence in the citation would be blah, 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 Myers, 2023, page number. The sentence you pick must support your answer to the discussion question. Don't simply pick a sentence randomly and put it in the post. No matter how many sentences the quote has in it, you have to have another 4 sentences in your own words. It's 5 sentences altogether. The quote counts as 1 sentence, no matter how many sentences it has in it, and then 4 more sentences in your own words. It has to be at least minimum of 4. You can have more than that. At the bottom of the post, then you put a blank line, and then after the blank line, you add a reference. And this reference refers back to the citation. The citation is only Myers' 2023 page number. Nobody could know what that means without the reference. So the reference is the author, again, Myers, but this time with his first and last initials, or first and middle initial, and then the year of publication of the work, which is 2023, the title of the work. Oh, now they can find it, and the publisher's name, who published it. So in ours, it would be David G. Myers, 2023, Psychology in Everyday Life, the 6th edition, Macmillan Publishers. That's your reference. It is always your reference if you're referencing a sentence from the book. It's simple. Okay? It's not a hard thing to do. I just gave it to you. All you have to do is copy it and paste it. If your sentence is coming from the book to support your statement. So I'm trying to teach you how to use citations and references in your writings. References allow the reader to find the exact title if they wish to read it. In-text citations only give you a clue. Without a reference, the reader is unable to find the quote that you cited. If you only have a reference without a quote or a citation, then the reader has no idea what sentence in your post is referring to. So you need both in-text citation and a reference so that the reader is properly informed of the materials you used to support the post. For a better description, you can actually go here, open that up, and I got many more examples there for you to show you. There is, however, a trap that people fall into. It's called the primary-secondary trap. You are reading Myers, that's the author of your textbook, but Myers will use quotes from other places that he has read. You cannot use that quote and say it's a Myers quote. It's not a Myers quote. And it is not from Thorne, it's from that person, whoever it was that did it. This particular one is from OpenStax. Psychology, psychoanalytic theory focuses on the role of persons unconscious as well as the early childhood experiences, and this particular perspective dominated clinical psychology for several years. Now this is a quote that was used in the OpenStax textbook. You have no idea if Spielman, who actually wrote the OpenStax OpenStax book, cited it correctly. You don't know. So you can't say it's Spielman's work. You have to say that it's Thorne and Henley's work, and she cited it in Spielman 2020, page 11. Same thing will happen with Myers. Sometimes he'll quote something. You have to say that you have to use that quote. If you want to use a quote, you don't have to. You just have to use a sentence. But if that sentence happens to be a quote within the book, you have to say where it came from him, where he found it, and you have to give his citation as well. So this is one way to do it like that, and then there's another way to do it like this, where you just use the entire sentence with what Spielman had done, or what Myers will have done, put in their quote, put the quote behind it, and then say Spielman 2020, page 11. Or, as done here, Thorne and Henley, 2005, as cited in Spielman 2020, page 11. So you've got to not fall into that secondary primary trap. You are reading this. If somebody uses a quote in a book, you're reading the secondary source, not the primary source. So you have to use the secondary source as the person who's using that quote, but also show that it is a primary that comes from somewhere else. Okay. So those are all the requirements, everything here about how you're supposed to do it. And then read the instructions. You have a quote, in-text citation, reference in your original post. So you must post 3 different times. They are: 1, reply to the blue question that I posted with 5 sentences, including a quote, and support your post and answer, and include the in-text citation reference. Then after 30 minutes, reply to another answer to myself with 5 sentences for another 1 point, and reply to a classmate's response with 5 sentences. So this answers your question, a question I asked. Then I will also answer the question myself. I will post just like I'm a student. And you have to respond to me, to my post that I posted, and to another post from a student. Okay? Now, this is not the actual discussion. You have to scroll all the way down and click to get into the discussion, which is basically going to show you this information and the original information together. So let me scroll back down and click, and here you have, this is, right, here it is. And you could click right here to reply. That's your first reply. And then here you can see I've already actually responded to this one, and I'm not going to show you what it is because you won't be able to see it until 30 minutes later, and then you can come back in 30 minutes and you'll be able to see everybody's responses. Okay. That's my discussions. My discussions are a little bit different, but they're not hard. The hard part is figuring out what to say and how to say it, and use the sentence from a credible source to support what it is that you're saying. Somewhere you have an idea, and your opinion is not wrong. There is no wrong opinion. I'm not going to judge you based on what you say. What I'm going to judge you on is, did you support it well with a credible source? And the final, this one you're going to have to use in all of the first 7 discussions. You have to use the sources that I've given you. So that's my lectures, my PowerPoints, the Myers book, the OpenStax book. Those are the ones you can use. But in the very last one, by the time you've gotten to the 7th one and finished it, that last one, which is a huge amount of points, 10 points, you will be able to go out and get your own sources. Usually you'll be going out online to get the information about what pathologies are found in foreign countries and how they handle those pathologies. That's basically that's your first. And then your second post is the pathology that the student posted that you're answering what they do here in the United States for that particular pathology. Right? So lots and lots of pathologies out there, and just have fun with it. Find something that maybe someone you know has a pathology. How would they be handled in a foreign country, right? Or never talk about your own pathology. Sometimes students have pathologies they believe they have, or even they have had a pathology they've been diagnosed with. Don't talk about your own pathologies. That's going beyond the borderline. Okay, but you could talk about your pathology as if it's somebody else. That's okay, but try not to cross that border. And I must say that, because we do this, and in the pathology section I say this, if you have a pathology, and you know you do, you are doing an amazing job of controlling it, because you are here at a college, taking college class, and that is something that some people just cannot do, and you're doing it. So congratulations on holding that together. So that's my discussions. I hope that gives you a good idea. Also, remember, when you're in the original, at the front page, there's a little link that you can actually get to the forums and to the quizzes that way. But I would suggest that you go to the actual location of the module for that particular one that we're working on, and go down below the red lines. There's your homework for that particular module or unit. I think that's it. I don't think I have anything else that I want to discuss. If there is something that you can think of that I didn't cover that you want covered, I'll make another video. Just send me an email and I will do that. But I think that covers all of the class and how to handle it. Have a great time. Enjoy. I will talk with you in class online. Bye.